Howdy, folks. This is Charles Deering. It's Season 1, Episode 10 of the Midday Show. And because we're starting to run out of topics, we're going with the general discussion again. Yeah, so that's how that's going. I'm going to just start with roll call. In order of appearance on my screen, we have Christopher Demetric out of Syracuse, New York.
How you doing, everybody? My YouTube channel's The Dems World, and I do a lot of different woodworking, but I have come to learn that scroll saw is what's my destiny. I enjoy it, I love it, I use it, I can't get enough of it, so I've decided that I would make as many videos as I can and embrace it, and now I'm really enjoying the things that I've been doing. So I recently just got a new tool in the scroll saw arsenal, and I'm looking forward to learning how to use the Cricut die cutter, so I can cut out my little patterns and everything like that. So
Sweet. I'm jealous. Okay, thank you, Chris. We're going to move on over to Edgar Natras. He's not known for scrolling, but he is a very good woodworker, and he does have access to a scroll saw.
Hello, my name's Edgar Natras with an N. I've been woodworking forever, it seems. I do have access to a scroll saw, and that's it.
Well, all right, and where can people find you if they're trying to stalk you?
I have YouTube channel under Edgar Natras. I'm going to change the name to Edgar's Woodworking or Workshop. I haven't figured it out yet.
making it with Ed.
Still kind of new to the YouTube thing, so not quite sure which direction I want to take it.
10-4. Well, we're going to support you regardless, by golly. We're going to move on over to Mr. Gary Griffiths out of Oklahoma, where all the dang weather is, and he's sending some of it to Texas.
Yeah, I'm in central Oklahoma. I've been scrolling a couple of years. Got an EX16. Lately, I've been getting into woodworking with pallet wood, and we are being beat up really with some weather past couple of days. I've gotten lucky twice past 2 nights, and we got more coming in, so it's kind of a reason to stay at home and be safe and do some woodworking and enjoy it. I got a Facebook page as a reminder. If you do friend request me, if I don't recognize your name, do send me a message as well, and I'll check it. I don't tend to request friends if I don't recognize a name because of the weird stuff with Facebook. I do have a YouTube. I've got a couple videos on there, but hopefully I'll get into the video making mode eventually.
10-4, much obliged. Now we're going to go over to Missouri, which is not a cut down. That's where Mark Stallings lives.
Hey, this is Mark Stallings, Spiritual Splinters Wood Shop. You can find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube under Spiritual Splinters Wood Shop, and I'm usually the resident pick on Charlie man. So
usually. But I haven't been around the last couple of times because something always screws it up. Thank you very much, Mark. Next we have Ron Buchanan. He's his niche. I could let him tell you. Actually, I'll let him tell you. His name is Ron Buchanan, and he is in God, I always forget. Missouri also.
Yes, I am. I am in lovely downtown Springfield, Missouri, in my penthouse. Yeah, I'm Ron Buchanan. I'm the Wood Traveler. You can find me on Facebook under the Wood Traveler, or you can find me at my website, which is woodtraveler.weebly.com. And I travel the country meeting woodworkers and doing interviews and projects and so on and so forth. And I don't have a shop anymore, so that's why I travel the country and use everybody else's.
And he has a really neat truck. He's hoping to get on the road pretty quick, and it's got his logo on it and everything, by God. Now we're going to move on over to, thank you, Ron. We're going to move on over to Mulberry, Florida with Russ.
Howdy.
How diddly-do.
Russ Clarity with Simply Wooden Creations. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and on my website, simplywoodencreations.com.
All right.
Oh, I can take up more time. I can talk a lot if you want me to.
I never seem to be ready when it's my turn. I am Charles Deering. Hopefully by now y'all know that if you're tuned into the show, unless you got linked here by something really silly. Anyway, I'm in Gatesville, Texas, and that's halfway between Dallas and Austin. I have woodenvisions.com, but mainly all that's up there right now is YouTube videos and scroll saw patterns for sale. I'm also on Facebook under the Charles Deering, and I have some pages on there, but it's easier just to ask me how to get to them from Facebook. And what else is there? There's something I'm missing in the introductory.
The shop.
The shop. Well, that comes later, but YouTube. I go by Charles Deering Scroll. That's hopefully where you're watching this, unless it's been embedded. So I might as well go into the Q&A. Dan Ingerbretson says would have liked to participate today, but I got up to a flat tire and got to go to the shop. Maybe this afternoon. Have a great show. Thank you very much, Mr. Ingerbretson. And I used to take me forever to be able to pronounce that name. We're just, in case any of you viewers have not figured it out, we've sort of moved to a general discussion pretty much every week because the topics are drying up. So we may eventually just have therapy with Charlie. Everybody watch me on a couch. I guess we're going to talk about shops, but since I don't want to be the main dude, I'll start going down the road. And the row, I should probably go down the road after the show. Anyways, Christopher Demetrica, you want to tell people how your shop is set up and blah blah?
Sure. Well, I had I always had a little bit of a wood shop in the basement when I built my house. I just have a little cape here in upstate New York. And the second half of that shop, second half of that basement was it was a nice, cool, dry basement. It's got a poured concrete foundation, and even in the hot summer days, it would always be cool down there. And I'm thinking that'd be the perfect place to do it, to build a shop. So I had my water bed that I've been sleeping on all my life. I disassembled that and said I'm building a shop, and spent all last winter, about a year and a half ago or so, and started it from scratch and made sure that it would meet the requirements. And now I've got the entire basement of the house, all prepared and ready, and I'm working there to do my woodworking and my scroll sawing and a little of everything. But it's where I spend most of the time. Got the TV down there, got the computer down there, got the music down there. It's if I put a bed down there, I don't think I'd ever come upstairs.
Yeah, and a bathroom.
That's what the slop sink is for.
That's true. Anybody that's seen my video of my dad's shop, he actually has a tube for that purpose. Only number one. Only number one. Number two, you got to walk in the house. Part of Edgar's shop is his driveway because he has a really massive shop, but I'll let Edgar tell you about it.
My shop is my driveway. My dust collection is a broom. It takes me about 15-20 minutes to roll everything out into the driveway. That's including whatever big project or small project I might have going. At the moment, we're in the process of building another shop. It's just housing. We have the floor down, and we have a temporary structure over it. It's just a portable car port. And as soon as we can get that consolidated and get the walls up, I think I may have a workspace out of the sun and the rain.
Awesome. Is that it, Mr.? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. I almost messed up, but it's an inside joke. Okay, Jerry Griffiths. I know we did a shop tour of yours a long time ago, but has anything changed since then? And if somebody didn't see the show, tell us about it anyway.
No, I missed the shop tour. I did make a video of it, but it's a small space. I put my saw inside this past winter just to have a warm place to work. But to get an idea of the size of my space, I can take my Chevy extended cab pickup with absolutely nothing in there, and it will barely fit from front to back and side to side to give you an idea of how much space I got. So my organization and placement of tools and stuff has to be just right to have enough space. But I mean, it's starting to kind of crowd up, so I've been kind of bit by bit getting rid of junk and crap I don't need to make space. Last night I got rid of an old shelf to make a space for a lumber rack, and slowly, bit by bit, I'm getting it built up and organized enough that I can work in. But if I got big stuff I got to do, or if it's real dusty cutting, I'll move stuff outside. I'm starting to put stuff on wheels so I can roll it around. Dust collection, it's like Edgar. It's a broom and a dustpan. Hopefully, maybe eventually I'll have a dust collection system put up, but for the time being, if I want dust collection, I got to use a fan to blow it off of me. But hopefully, one of these days, I'll eventually get something nice enough. But what I have, it does and suits me just fine with what I work with.
All right, much obliged, Mr. Griffiths. Mark Stallings, how's your shop set up, mister?
I've got mine in a 2-car garage, and I use about 1 3/4 of it. The rest of it belongs to my wife. And but my dust collection is pretty good because it collects everywhere. You know, I've got it on my fishing rods that I cleaned off yesterday, and everything else in there's covered in sawdust. But basically, mine's in the garage. So.
All right, much obliged. I know in speaking with Ron that he has access to a shop, but I'll let him explain the story if he so chooses.
Oh, my shop? My shop is Edgar's garage and driveway. And my tool collection I keep scattered in home improvements all across the country. And my dust collection system is abandonment.
But the home improvement stores look at you funny when you ask to borrow your own tools, though. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's it. Since I got sick a couple years ago and lost my shop, I just decided not to try and build another one just anytime soon. So, like I said, that's when I got the idea to travel around and meet other people and see what they do.
Good deal. Well,
when you coming to Florida?
Well, as soon as I can get a transmission in my truck, and then that's the part is that it's expensive to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida and up the Midwest. That's supposed to be this summer. I'm not heading for Florida anytime soon because it's going to be hot.
that leaves Texas out. Russ has the Taj Mahal of shops, so I'll let him talk about his. Thank you, Rob.
I don't have the Taj Mahal, but I do have to admit it's fairly nice. I got a few pictures I can show real quick. Let's see how we do this. Screen share. And let's see if this works. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
This area here is my what I would say my main workbench. It's where I put most of the stuff together that I make, or if I'm going to tear it apart. Anything woodworking I do on this bench. The reason being is I got another bench if I want to tear stuff apart that might have grease or oil in it, so I try to keep this one fairly clean for that. But pretty well that's it. My sorted of chisels, a few clamps up there. One of my laptops over there in the corner. That one stays dedicated out here into the shop. Let's see now. I've got a problem here. Trying to get this. There it goes. Trying to move this stupid thing out of the way so I can hit the next picture. This is to the left of that picture that I just showed you. That's my TV and cable box, surround sound, stereo, one of my speakers that I have out here.
Entertainment corner.
Yeah. Then this is the second workbench that I have in the shop. This is where if I got to tear anything apart that I have grease or oil or anything like that, I would do it over here in this little section. I just try to keep the main workbench fairly clean so that I don't contaminate anything if I'm trying to put it together. That's my skull sawing setup. Have my iPad and iPhone over there, my fan with a filter, my dust collection system. That's just a tube underneath that goes out and outside the shop where it collects all the dust. It's very, very efficient. I can't. It's not. I don't know if it's in this picture or not, but there's another fan over here to the right behind me, so to speak, where my pointer is, and it blows across the table to that fan to collect any dust. This is sitting at my scroll saw. If I'm going to be scrolling, I can look up and see the TV right up. And my dust collection does not make a lot of noise. I can listen to the TV just fine. Actually, there's speakers above my head. This shelf right here, on the very top of this shelf, is a couple of speakers that are pointed straight down to me, so I can hear quite well. Oops, wrong way. That's the most important. It's empty right now. Or when this picture was taken, it was empty, but just another. That's my AC unit. This is half of the shop. When I took these pictures, I was renovating the other side of the shop, so I don't have pictures yet of the other side, but this is the primary where I do most of my work. That's just a small bandsaw I bought for inside in case I ever wanted to cut anything real small.
Is that a Skill brand?
It's a Skill brand. It's a piece of crap. I mean, it's good for cutting small insignificance. Like if I need a couple of inches off of a board or anything, and I don't want to. I have two actual shops. This part in here is air conditioning, heated, and this is where I do most of my work. The other part of the shop is not air conditioning and heated, and that's where my table saw, my band saw, routers, miter saw, all that kind of stuff is out there in the other part of the shop. All the big main dust noise makers are out there. And then this is where I sit at, when, like right now I'm sitting when we do the scrolling with Charlie. I'll get it out right.
Charlie.
Yeah, scrolling with Charlie show. So this is where I'm sitting right now. So.
Russell.
Russell.
Hey, Russ.
Yes.
That tube you got underneath your scroll saw, is that hooked to a dust collector outside of the shop, or you just have some type of fan hooked to it to suck the dust?
No, if you look at this picture right here, where my mouse pointer is.
Oh yeah.
That is a dryer, squirrel cage and a motor that came out of a dryer that dries your clothes. And I have it hooked up underneath there. It's been in my shop for about 8 years running. When I flip on my scroll saw, it comes on. That metal tube that's underneath here, back up real quick. Oop, one more. This metal tube goes underneath my table where my scroll saw is mounted, and then it comes underneath the table over to here. This is a piece of PVC, 3 or 4 inch PVC T, and it goes right straight into the squirrel cage of the dryer, and it sucks it out and throws it right outside the shop in a flower bed that's outside my shop. And then up here, you can't see it, but if you see how this is teed up, it's actually my, whatever you want to call this stupid thing. I can't even think of the word of it right now.
Apron.
Here you go. Isn't that funny how you just get a loss for words all of a sudden?
Yeah.
But my apron is showing it, but this is reduced down to this hose here, which goes over to my scroll saw, and it's working at the same exact time, and I'll back up so I can show you. So this is my brush attachment that I clean off every my top of my scroll saw with. I would recommend, if you can have an old dryer that went bad and you can salvage the scroll motor and the motor out of the dryer, or you can contact, I've contacted some, I'll go back and stop screen sharing. Places that do repairs appliances, old appliances, and get one of them out of it. It is very, very, very quiet. Matter of fact, I'm sitting right next to my scroll saw. That's the reason I'm reaching over. That's my dust collection system that's on right now.
As you can see, it's very noisy.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. I'll have to look into doing something like that. Cause
Yeah,
I've looked at the ones at Harbor Freight, and they want $70 for the portable one, and I've heard they're kind of loud. But
oh, they are. Go with a dryer motor. It's the same principle. It's a squirrel cage, and the motor's quiet. It's only like a half a horse or a 1 horse motor, or not even 1 horse. I'd say a half or a 3/4 horse motor. It's very, very quiet, and it will last. I've had mine for 8 years, and it came out of a used dryer that the elements went bad, and I was scrapping the dryer out and going to throw it away, grabbed that motor out of it, hooked it up in my shop 8 years ago. So it's probably about 15 years old because it dried clothes for about 5 or 6 or 8 years before that. So, and it runs every time I turn my scroll saw on, it comes on. So it will last. They're very quiet. They work very well. The only thing you have to look out for is the plastic. Now they're making the squirrel cages out of plastic, and so if you have a fairly good sized chunk of wood go down in the tube, you need to put some kind of screen to stop that over. I don't put it on mine because mine are metal teeth, so, or a metal squirrel cage, so it doesn't really affect it. But if it's plastic, I would recommend putting something over that to stop big chunks from going in there, because if it ever hits one of those plastic teeth, it's gone. It'll mess it up.
Alrighty. And he'll be building me one when he visits in July. He just doesn't know that yet.
They're simple to make. They're cheap. I mean, and they work fantastic.
All right. Thank you very much, Russ. I don't have near as involved of a tour because I'm in the process of preparing my new shop. My current shop is 5 by 15, but I'm going to screen share to show you what I'm moving up to.
But what you do have the advantage of is making it like you want it.
Absolutely. Well, if money allows. This is, I'm not going to play the whole video, but this is the new shop is 12 by 32. This is the area my computer room will be in, and this is the area majority of the woodworking will be in, even though there's an area back behind the porch there. Okay, so let me move on. I'll show you some pictures. This is, you're looking at about half of the shop. This is the computer room area. And a bunch of insulation. And yes, there's finally power for those that have been following. Yay. And this is my first ever attempt at insulation. This is the computer room area again. And there's the other half of the computer room. I put window unit. I know their window units are supposed to be in a window, but I put that in the wall so that I could have this for light and ventilation if needed.
Yeah.
And this is the other end of the shop, that opposite of the end you just saw. And I'm still working on it. That's why there's so much crap there. And of course the obligatory Dr. Pepper. Anyway, that's a bigger window unit in the other wall, and there's a window right out of view. And that's the window that was out of view. I know you were waiting to see that. And this is all the way up to the front door that you saw in the other picture. So yes, that's my cluttered desktop. And that's the extent of my shop until I get going. I'm going to be, my wife is right now going to get plastic sheeting that I paid for. And so when I'm done doing the roof, or the ceiling and those little skinny areas but beside the windows and front door, then I will be putting the plastic sheeting over there until I can afford OSB to cover all the walls. And then hopefully we'll have all the tools in there. So now that
You noticed I did the same thing you did, Charles. I put my window unit in the wall back there. I didn't put it in a window, so those it works a lot better.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of putting the scroll saw, even though I'll have lights in there, I'm thinking of putting the scroll saw in the vicinity of that window too to have excess lighting, because shadows ain't good on scrolling. If anybody scrolled for any amount of time, they know that it kind of sucks. And speaking of shadows and things that don't work with scrolling, is a whole nother topic. When it comes to patterns being printed out, some people prefer to do their outlines in red so that the line they're cutting on does not get lost where the scroll saw blade is. Because if you print it out in black or gray like I do, then, well, more so black, if you get in a zone, then sometimes that blade, you can't tell the difference between the blade and the black line it's following. So I started doing mine in gray for that reason, but I probably should have been doing them in red, but you know, things happen. I think Russ is the only one I know of on this panel that makes it a point to. Well, he may be the only other designer, but I know he uses red lines in his stuff.
I use gray, not black, and try to do a light gray and red lines. The contrast makes it a lot easier for me to see. And just to point out, we've got a few things over in the
Q&A?
Q&A session.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Bob Rawson. That's no problem. I wanted to read that first one because Bob Rawson asked, I've just done one of Bob Bloodworth's. That's mechanical candy dispenser. Have any of the panel done anything like this? So Bob Bloodworth is the guy that I had on, Charles, when you weren't on, but the Antarja. Yeah, that's the Antarja guy.
And he makes these dog.
Yeah, he makes those pooping puppies. Well, he and I came up with the idea almost the exact same time. We've been friends, and he made the pooping puppy, and I made a pooping reindeer. So I made them for quite some time, was selling them, so yeah, I have a design for the pooping reindeer. He has the one for the pooping puppy. I think he also has one for a rabbit that the jelly beans come out of his stomach or whatever into a little basket. So yeah, I've done them. I don't know if anybody else has done one, but
that's American entertainment right there, folks.
Yeah, a pooping. I got the idea off of. I don't remember. I'd seen a plastic one in a toy store somewhere, and as soon as I seen it, I'm like, I can make that out of wood. I know I can. And so I bought the plastic one, which that's been 10 years ago, and had it for years, and I don't know where it's went. And that's how I came up with the design.
Good deal. Wigwag Workshop says, good day all, and I believe his name is Steven, but don't quote me on that because I've slept since then. And good day to you too, sir. And he also asked me why OSB instead of drywall. I chose OSB because most of it's constructed out of that, and it's about $8 a sheet around here. I didn't price drywall, but OSB is less of a process. You just screw it on there and you're done.
I love it. I'm so glad I did it.
OSB.
Like, I can put a shelf in anywhere I want, any place. It doesn't matter. Drywall, it can pull out.
Yep.
But I'm so glad I did it in OSB, and I painted it twice in primer.
Yeah, I would agree. Totally. Don't drywall in a shop is not either. The preferred would be like some nice plywood. I have plywood in mine, but the OSB will work just fine. Like he said, paint it, and you won't have any problems out of it. And the greatest thing is when you want to screw something anywhere on that wall, you want to screw it. You screw it on there. With drywall, if you put something heavy on there or just put a screw in there, it's going to fall out or pull through.
OSB sheeting, you have to watch it though. It's got a rough side and a smoother side. If you want to paint it, put that smoother side facing out towards you. You'll get a little bit better paint job. It's not as rough.
Right.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. Well, the light is shining really funny on my screen here. I didn't know I had a smooth and a rough side.
You'll be able to tell, Charles. It's easy to see.
That was the other reason that I went with OSB is because I knew I could screw things into the wall. With all those tools I got, I'm being sarcastic because I don't have very many tools. Bob Rawson says, Russ has more space in his beard than I've got in my shop. I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Bob. Sell more pooping puppies and you will get more space in your shop.
Make more pooping puppies and sell them.
Yeah. I got pooping kittens I'd love to get rid of right now. Just saying. They're not made of wood, but one of them, I think its mission is to go everywhere except for in the litter box, but that's a whole nother show. Yeah. So, we're barely halfway through the show, and I go, okay, somebody throw a topic out there and we'll discuss the crap out of it. And I have the camera on Christopher Demetric, so there's pressure on you, sir.
I didn't make a pooping puppy, but I did make a little lock.
That's cool.
One of the ones that open up with the key there.
Hey, the lock is to put on the pooping puppy so he can't poop in the house.
And I made it so that you can take off the front and see the insides.
That's plumb cool.
Yeah.
And then it kind of clicks into place.
That's plumb cool, dude.
And I only made it because it would look like it would be cool to make. It was one of those, I I don't know. The Stephen S. Good or whatever it is.
Steve Good.
Steve Good. I got his little pattern. I just thought it was the coolest thing, so I made them, and kind of fun. But no poop and puppy, but it's the same concept, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's very simple.
That's plum cool. Plum cool. That sounds so hate. That's plum cool over there, I tell you what. Stephen, I was correct in his name. Wigback Workshop says, thank you for the answer. And yes, my name is Steve. Alrighty then, I did good. So that started a good topic. That's very nice, Chris. And Edgar, what are you currently working on, sir?
I'm currently working on a set of beds for my students' little girls. We've already finished one. The one we're working on now, we're turning an existing dresser into a high boy bed, and we're going to try and integrate four posts into it with all the frillies and the stuff on the top.
All the frillies, you got to have those frillies.
Well, that's up to the frillies are up to them. I'm just building the bed.
Good deal. And many of y'all may not know Ed, but I've seen much of his work. That dude knows some stuff, and that's why he has students. Gary Griffiths, what are you working on right now, mister? Right before you answer that, Brian Gidney of Summers Woodworking, I have a feeling I'm setting myself up here, but he says, why did the chicken cross the road? Hopefully his answer is to get to the shop, but go ahead and answer, Brian. And
I would say to escape the farmer's frying pan.
Something like that. I have no idea why he... Okay, so yeah, Gary, what are you working on right now? Hopefully it's nothing with corny jokes.
No, I've got one of Steve's patterns. It's the hand saw that says you can borrow my tools when I can borrow your checkbook, but I was going to make it for my boss because he's real picky on his tools, but I'm using oak plywood and it cuts so easy and fast it's hard to control it, and I kind of put it on the back burner, and I may try it with some Baltic birch since it's a little bit more stable to cut it out, so it's kind of on hold. I don't have much going on other than trying to clean up and organize my shop a little bit better.
10 4.
Spiral blade?
If I had some spiral blades, I would be more than happy. I would be using them, but the few that I had, I used them on another project, and that's when I fell in love with them. But when I can get some money in, I am going to get me a bunch of spiral blades for it. But I'm thinking the Baltic birch is a little bit more stable and tighter fitting than this cheap, thin, junk oak plywood. And I'm afraid the letters are going to start breaking and fall off. So I'm going to kind of wait till I get some better wood and have more time to cut it out.
What's the thickness of the plywood you're using?
It's that oak plywood from Lowe's. I think it's like about a 1/4 inch or something like that. But it's got that thin core center and then a veneer. It's some stuff that's good, but when you do a lot of close, intricate details, you run the risk of breaking. I've run into that problem before.
Yeah, the only thing I could suggest that would slow it down to help you a little bit would be put a sacrificial piece underneath it and make a 1/2 inch, and then it might slow it down so it'd help you.
Yeah, I've thought about that too, but you know, thinking of that, if I put the sacrificial piece underneath, I'd have to re-drill all my holes again and get it all lined up. I'd sat there and thought of that, and I'm like, crap, I already got my holes drilled. But I still may do it anyway just to have something to do and maybe try it before I went and got the Baltic birch. But I don't know, it's kind of a work in progress. There's no rush for it. It's just something to do.
Where do you get Baltic birch? I mean, because you can't get it in the big box stores. Where do you get it?
I go to Michael's craft store and get it. They've got them in 12 by 12 sheets, or they got them in, I think, 12 by 24. They've got it anywhere from, I think, 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch up to, I think, 3/4 inch.
Yeah, I bought them before, but I always use my 40% off coupon that they give you every week. So it's like you'll pay like $3 for it. But I was looking for large sheets.
Yeah, I haven't found a place locally that has a large sheet. I've got a place here called McKinley Lumber. I could probably get it, but then I've got a big giant sheet of Baltic birch. I got to come home, cut it down to size. For what I work with, it's easier to go to Michael's and get the smaller stuff. It's easier to handle it and cut it.
Yeah, Christopher, online you can go to sloanswoodshop.com and oakhoochhardwoods.com. get with me after the show, and I'll. Excuse me. Good Lord Jesus. I also should probably put it in the description of this video, so anybody else looking, somebody's calling me, and I have no idea who it is.
Yeah, I would. I like Sloan's. I ordered. Now they're limited. They only sell 2 or
48.
yeah, that's as big as they sell because of ship. Well, the reason is because of shipping. The shipping prices. But I use Sloan's all the time. I like them. They're a mom and pop organization, just like Mike was that sold the Flying Dutchman blades. That's the reason I love to use them. So I would recommend them.
10-4. Thank you, Russ and Christopher. Mark Stallings, what are you currently working on, sir? I believe that was Home Depot that was calling me, telling me that plastic sheeting was ready, but my wife's already on the way there. In case you wanted to know that, Mark.
Well, currently I'm not working on anything right this minute, but I am going to start producing more of the crosses that I've done over the last 30 days or so, and get ready to do a couple craft shows and maybe set me up a booth in one of the local antique malls here. And so.
Well, good luck with that. I know you just got done with your 30 crosses in 30 days. That was an accomplishment.
Yeah, that was a little bit. It did a lot of things. One, it put my name out there, but also it gave God glory, which to me was first and foremost. But it also really improved my cutting skills. If I look back at the ones that I did day 1, day 2, by being on the saw, several hours a day, every day, it really, the difference that I saw in my own cutting.
Yeah,
you can really saw that you saw. You're talking about developmental skills, come along a lot better. So, I mean, I found out if you get out there and do a little bit of work, you can get better at it. So.
Well, your last of the series proved that. I mean, you went above and beyond the what could be a basic thing, and I believe it had a whole bunch of words in it. I've slept since then, like I usually say. But quickly over to Q&A. Thank you, Mark. John Schaffner says, "Hey Chris, Lakeshore Lumber in Pulaski has Baltic birch ply. Nice road trip, and Brian is awesome to deal with. Like he said, Lakeshore Hardwoods, that is."
They actually opened up a second shop in Syracuse. So I'll go up to Pulaski to get it, and he's got all of the exotic woods and domestic woods. But if you're closer to Syracuse, New York, he's got one on Burnett Ave that they just built a second one about a year or two ago. But it is, and I never thought about that for Baltic birch. I always think about it as the exotic woods. He's got like Brazilian walnut and all of that. But that's a good suggestion. I never really thought about that for Baltic birch, but you're right. I should go there.
I wonder if he has Babinga. Inside story. Bob Rawson says, "Congratulate Mark on his 30 crosses in 30 days. Brilliant effort and nice cutting." And we've already had the applause sound effects, but very good job on that, Mark, and thank you, Bob.
I've got a couple of things on YouTube. Backyard Woodworking said OSB is the way to go, or half-inch ply. I guess he's referring back to the what you're going to put up on your shop walls. Yeah.
Yes.
And then Slovana Farms.
That's Sarah. Slovana Farms. Yep.
Okay. The room is looking great, Charles. Much better than your desktop. I know you must be excited to get it done.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Yes, my desktop gets like that, and then I eventually dwindle it down because I throw everything on the desktop till I decide what folder I want to put it in. So yeah,
I do that same thing.
I appreciate you watching, Sarah. By the way, and I believe her husband's name is Charlie. And if either one of them are into scroll sawing, they should be on this panel, as should be John Schaffner, that just commented. But appreciate that. Russ, what are you working on right now?
Actually, I've got a project that I was supposed to have had done, but between two things, the video that I did for the Summers Woodworking, the second part 2, Took up a little bit more time than I expected, so I didn't get it done and the video done. And then the second is my bout with gout last weekend.
Your bout with gout.
My bout with gout, and let me tell you, it put the knockout punch on me. Man, I never had gout before. Let me tell you, it hurts. It ain't funny.
I hear you. Thank you for answering the question anyway. What I've been working on, I just showed a bunch of pictures of, so I haven't done any scrolling, but I do have 2 people I need to publicly thank, which I should have done before now. There's a gentleman named William Booth. I don't know if he's prominent in the woodworking world, but he bought 2 of my pieces that I had lowered the price to $300, and because of him buying those, I was able to get the installation to do my shop, and I'm so thankful for that. And Miter Mike, which I believe his actual name is Michael Murray, I could be slightly wrong with that. He donated some money to that, and I appreciate both of those guys very much. Jerry Brown, Polly Wants a Crafter on YouTube, he helped me quite a bit trying to get that thing powered up until we finally had to call the electrical company because of weird setup on the disconnect. And Edgar Natras here on the panel did a lot of consultation. Thank you very much for that. So I have those guys to thank. And Russ, he gave me advice when nobody else was around. Not that he was the last resort. It's just between him and Ed, we came up with how much insulation I needed to get, because I don't know how to figure all that crap because I have 2 brain cells and they collide. So thank you to all those guys very, very, very much, and to all my woodworking YouTube friends that are so happy for me. That means a lot to me that y'all care what I'm going through. And Stephen of Wigwag Workshop says, I've been cranking out a bunch of toy cars, trucks, and trains for the grandkids. Hopefully they aren't all pooping. The grandkids might be, but thank you for sharing that with us, Stephen. And I believe John Schaffner says, I'm saving my snide remarks for the evening show. And Mark Stallings thought it might be because he's upside down. Are you still upside down, John Schaffner? John, I know John wouldn't mind us saying this, but he took his laptop to the shop, and when he got it back, he turned on his webcam, it shows him upside down. I don't know what the heck caused that crap. But,
oh, wow.
Go ahead.
Old Backyard Woodworking commented his wife lost a toe, or I guess her big toe to gout. Be careful. Wow, I didn't know you could lose. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that to gout. But actually, I have to say that I found out what caused my gout. I never had it before. I'm 56, going on 57 years old. Never had gout, and for it just to occur, it caught the doctors off guard. Especially since usually red meat, protein, shellfish, seafood, some of the things you eat might cause it, and none of that stuff I'd eaten that past week because I'm kind of like on a diet. My wife's on Weight Watchers, and I'm following her diet. So anyway, to make a long story short, my blood pressure medicine.
Oh.
Bloody poop.
Yep. They had put me on blood pressure medicine. My doctor felt my blood pressure had been a little high lately, and that particular medicine is a diuretic, and it actually depletes your, it pulls water out of your body, so to speak. And yeah, dehydrates you, and it's also harder on your kidneys. So therefore, in that process, my kidneys were not filtering as good as they probably should have, and removed the uric acid, which is what causes gout. It settles in the joint. And the reason it picks the big toe is because it's the furthest away from their heart. So therefore, they have a feeling that that's what caused it. So he told me to get off the blood pressure medicine, don't take it. Now I'll have to go to my doctor and find something else. But they really felt that that's what caused it.
10-4. I'm glad you're getting better. And John Schaffner says, yes, I am, meaning he's still upside down. So in tribute. Very sorry to hear that, John. And Donna Presley, I'll explain to you later why I'm not going to read your comment. It's personal reasons. It's nothing to do with you whatsoever, but I will explain after the show why I choose not to read your comment. For anybody listening, it has nothing to do with who the woman is or anything about her. It's something mentioned in the comment. So sorry for the mystery there. But basically she mentioned somebody that I refuse to promote because just very personal problem with that individual, not the one, not Donna Presley, but the person she was referring to. And Donna Presley also says almost done, but had some problems at the beginning with measurements, so was seeing if anyone had the problem or if it was me.
What's she talking about?
I can't, unfortunately, I can't say what she's talking about because then people will know who I'm referring to. And I can ask the panel for what it's worth on it after the show to see if they're having the same problems. But please understand that I'll explain later. I have a personal vendetta against the person that you were referring to, and
so do I. I won't. So do I. I won't mention his name either.
Yeah, it's childish of me.
Well, it's childish of me too. I would call him a name, but we're live, and I wouldn't do that. I'm trying to be an angel.
And for folks watching, I don't want y'all to think that Russ and I or any of us on the panel are childish in how we do things.
I'm childish.
Okay, I am too, but I mean, as far as I don't pander to public slander, so that's why I chose not to. I should have just read the question and played it off, but that's how much disdain I feel for this individual. And if anybody's out there guessing who it is, it's nobody involved with scroll sawing, so it's not that. And there's maybe other people watching. I think I know who it is. You may be wrong, but I know a couple of people on the panel know exactly who I'm talking about. But anyway, we'll move on. Thank you very much, Donna. And again, I will explain after the show is over and no longer on the air. Alrighty then, we are at 12:50. We have 10 minutes. Let's move on, as some would say. God. Okay, 10 minutes. We've already done. What are you working on? Okay, what was your last video? God, I'm starting to sound like Summers Woodworking, which is not a bad thing. I'm just stealing an idea from Summers Woodworking, Brian Gidney, because that's usually how he ends his show. What videos? I won't say what videos have you been watching, but what's the last video you yourself put out? Rob, sorry. You're supposed to know who I'm talking to. Christopher Demetric.
Who you talking to?
I'm sitting there having the camera on him, and he's just sitting there. Oh, wait, I didn't say his name.
I just posted a video of a little scroll saw 60s kind of thing. I like to drive once a year to Bethel, New York, where the Woodstock Festival took place. And I was there at the 40th anniversary, and they have a pretty huge museum there. And every year I go, and I make them a little something, and I leave it behind. They don't really put it in the museum, so to speak, but I've seen a couple of my things there. So that was my video this week. Was my little. I have it in the other room. I can grab it. It's just a little scroll saw sign that says "Love, Peace, and Music." So it's a fun thing to do, and I'll be driving down to Bethel, New York, in the next week or so.
Awesome deal. Thank you very much, Christopher. Edgar, I believe you said you were still working on that bed.
Yeah, but the last video I made or put out there was a fast-forward version of me rolling out the shop. And the music I put it to kind of, I did it at like quadruple or septuple speed or whatever. I did it really fast, and I used an appropriate music for that. So this is about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
10-4, much obliged. Brian Gidney, the join-in link should be at Scrolling with Charlie Hangout Details page. And a lot of the other scroll sawing pages on Facebook. Gary Griffiths, I don't believe you do YouTube videos, do you?
I'll make some here and there, kind of just about anything I'm doing. The most recent I did was I made a video and posted it on trying to get ideas of where I could put my lumber rack at, but I'm hoping to eventually get into figuring out how to do videos and have a better camera than what I use with my phone and get into more software stuff so I can edit my own videos, but I'll eventually get there.
10-4, there's a lot of people that will use their phones. I mean, and most YouTube woodworkers in general will tell you it's the content of what you're putting out versus the actual quality, but I can see what you're saying. You don't want to premiere with a bunch of cruddy crap. So I can see that. And we have a YouTube comment, so I'm going to run over to Russ, and then I'll go back to you, Mark.
Yeah, the backyard woodworking. I guess he's back to referring to about us being when we said we were childish and everything, and not saying that or about a person, but he said you can't be a bad guy if you have an 88 on your hat or a black 3. So.
By God, that's thank you. That's Earnhardt right there, baby. Number 3, number 88 for real. He won Talladega last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay. Out of fairness, and I'm pretty sure he won't be bringing up who we were trying to avoid, but out of fairness, I'm going to introduce you to Brian Gidney. He runs a show called Summers Woodworking. He does it at the same time as our evening show, so if you're more into woodworking than scroll sawing in general, then watch Summers Woodworking. And this is Brian Gidney. Introduce yourself, tell everybody all about you. Whoa. Time out. You sound like your audio. I'm sorry, your audio sounds like a chipmunk.
He's sucking helium.
He's sucking helium. It's got to be.
No,
a chipmunk sucking helium.
That was not a dig on you, Brian. But you sound like a chipmunk on crack. I don't know what it is.
Does he represent the Lollipop Guild?
Oh my God. Oh.
I'm off to see the wizard. He kind of did that on purpose and made it more funnier.
I know, but God bless America. When he comes back, I'm going to let him do that again. Oh God, man. Okay, well, Stephen.
Relief.
Yeah, Stephen. Try again, Brian.
I'm afraid to.
You know.
Oh.
I'm gonna mute myself while you introduce
it. Is it still doing it?
No, it's not doing it. This is what you sound like, Brian. Hey, my name is Rainer. That's just exactly what it sounded like.
Is it still doing it?
No, you're
thank God.
You could have done that on purpose and made it more funnier.
Oh my God, help me, Jesus.
Anyway, I can't even do it. I'm Brian Gidney, owner of Summers Woodworking. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook. But mainly, if you want to get a hold of me, go to summerswoodworking.co. Right now we're running a contest, the 2x4 challenge. I got tons of prizes to give away, and that's included for any scroller, wood turner, or carver, or any type of woodworking that you do. Just submit something that you can make out of a simple 2x4 that's no longer than 8 foot long, and submit me an entry to your video or your pictures to Brian at summerswoodworking.co, and we'll put you down as an entry.
Thank you, Brian. And anybody that didn't catch all that, go to his YouTube channel. And Brian, Donna Presley in the Q&A section says to replay the show when we're done, and you can see why everybody was cracking up. Thank you for that. Donna, she also says, LOL. Steve, oh, that hurt my face. Stephen at Wigwagging Workshop says, I will be doing videos again very soon, and I have some scroll stuff and general hobby videos in the hopper. Just need to edit and upload. Looking forward to that, Stephen. Thank you very much for the question. We only got 3 minutes left. Y'all can all unmute yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and, I know we have 13 viewers. Since we only have 3 minutes left, I'll just ask those 13 viewers, do you have any questions regarding anything we've talked about or anything we haven't talked about? And or do you have any requests for topics for future shows? Because we are running low, because we've been doing this for 23 episodes in the evening, and now I think we're up to 10 during the midday. So.
How about 3D art?
Thank with the viewer today, and thank you very much, Ross.
Yeah.
Oh.
Three. I don't know what to say. My face hurts so bad from trying not to laugh. I know it's killing you, Mark. You don't have to say it. Okay, we only got 2 minutes left, so I'm gonna hopefully the Q&A will let us know. If not, go in the comment section, no matter how old this video is. We're gonna have a.
How about 3D art, Charlie? You guys do any 3D art?
Can you be more specific in what you mean by 3D? Do you mean layered or something else?
Dimensional art.
Kind of like compound cutting?
No, more like layers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do layered art. I think that's the direction I'm headed for the 2x4 contest. If I can find a way to resaw a 2x4. But yeah, that's. Okay, I believe that's.
Russ.
I believe that's okay. Good. It's 1 o'clock. My time.
All maturity just went right out the window.
And I actually had a little bit of this show.
You were pretty ready.
Okay, folks. When I do the countdown of 3, 2, 1, right after 1, everybody say scroll on. But that's how we get in the show. Everybody just use your left hand and go scroll on when I go 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody unmute yourselves. Brian's not even there, so he's gonna miss it. But it would have been really funny in a chipmunk voice. If I know Russ, he's gonna do this in a chipmunk voice. 3, 2, 1. Scroll on.